When it comes to life on Earth and the history of humanity, scientists and historians are able to answer some questions, but certainly not all of them. They are exceptionally skilled at what they do, able to draw grand conclusions from the tiniest of clues and pieces of evidence. But every now and then, they encounter something that leaves them completely stumped. And that is exactly the subject of today's video. These are strange and marvelous places all around the world, sites that, even when witnessed firsthand by scientists, remain utterly impossible to explain. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be part of our notification squad. We begin this video with Invetinate Island in Kenya. Even the very name of Invetinate Island in Kenya holds a major clue to how local people feel about this place. The name of this strange island, located on Lake Turkana, translates to no return. That fits perfectly with the legends and mysterious tales that surround the island, stories claiming that anyone who sets foot on it will never return. In 1935, the English explorer Vivian Fuchs decided to put the legend to the test, embarking on a research expedition to the island, together with his colleagues Bill Dyson and Martin Shellfields. However, when all three failed to come back, it only served to further reinforce the island's chilling reputation. Some conspiracy theorists believe there is an alien base on the island, where extraterrestrial beings are ready to abduct anyone who dares get too close. But for the people of Kenya, the more widespread belief is that anyone who descends into the enormous crater at the island's center will be struck by lightning and reduced to ashes. Aerial photographs taken by planes flying over the crater seem to show the remnants of ancient huts at its center. But it has been a very long time since anyone dared to go and investigate in person. Perhaps that is for the best. A shroud of mystery surrounds the origins of the Heidentor in Austria. It is believed to have been built during the reign of Roman Emperor Constantius II, who ruled from 351 to 361. But that is little more than an educated guess based on what remains today. The ancient Romans sometimes constructed monuments like this to commemorate the sites of major military victories. That would make sense, as the ancient city of Carnuntum once stood here, home to about 50,000 people and surrounded by a massive fortress. Today, the city is long gone, with only a single arch of this structure still standing. For centuries, people mistakenly thought it was the gateway to the old city. Because its true history is so vague, countless legends and fantastic stories have sprung up around the Heidentor. It has become a popular gathering place for modern-day pagans, who refer to it as Heaven's Gate, although the reason is unclear. If it truly was a Roman tetrapylon, there may once have been a statue of an emperor or a god standing at its center. But now, there is no trace of any such statue to be found. Syria is home to many ancient and magnificent temples, each with its own captivating story. But the curiosity surrounding the Ayindara temple is especially intense, mainly because of the giant human footprints that appear right at the temple's entrance. These footprints have existed since at least the time the temple was built, more than 3,300 years ago. And to this day, their origin remains a source of controversy. Scientists and archaeologists believe that these were created by the same people who built the temple, meant to depict the procession of the gods as they entered the sacred inner chambers. However, many local legends claim that a great deity with clawed feet once visited the temple and left those prints behind. Another theory suggests that the builders themselves were giants, and that they left these marks during their lifetime. In this region, stories of ancient giants have always circulated, and the footprints are the very first evidence cited by those who believe in such legends. Sadly, the temple suffered heavy damage in a Turkish air raid in 2018, but those mysterious footprints still remain. Most visitors to Egypt never miss the spectacular Great Pyramid of Giza. But if they drove just 20 more minutes to Abu Ghraib, they might discover a little-known secret. This ancient city once featured a structure, or more precisely, a temple dedicated to the great sun god Ra. Built roughly 2,400 years ago, it once had a stepped pyramid of its own. According to records from ancient Egypt, Abu Ghraib was once home to as many as 6 sun temples, but now only 2 remain. What's left of them today is little more than a colossal stone tower marking the westernmost point of Abu Ghraib. The massive red granite blocks scattered across the area still puzzle archaeologists. They were engineered with astonishing precision, with polished surfaces and drill holes so smooth that they could only have been made using advanced drilling technology. As if that weren't strange enough, there are also square alabaster dishes here, engraved with markings that resemble the gears of machinery. Did the ancient people who lived here once possess advanced technology? If so, what happened to them and to their inventions? Why have just one tree when you can have two? That seems to be the theory in Casorzo, Italy, where a truly astonishing sight can be found in a field. There, you'll find two trees in one, and they're entirely different species. The bottom tree is a mulberry, while growing on top of it is a cherry tree. This is a kind of hybrid duplex that is extremely rare in nature. While smaller trees do sometimes grow on larger ones, it is almost unheard of for two mature trees to coexist and thrive in this way. Usually, one tree's vitality comes at the expense of the other. Most often, the tree on top suffers. However, the beautiful white blossoms on the cherry tree here are proof that the opposite is true in this case. Unsurprisingly, this unusual tree has become a tourist attraction in the area, although it's now been fenced off for its own protection, and climbing it is strictly prohibited. In the past, Barsakelmes was once an island in the Aral Sea. Today, as the water level has dropped far below what it was in ancient times, this place has become a plateau in the Kizilorda region of Kazakhstan. Much like Invetnet Island in Kenya, Barsakelmes is also rumored to be a place from which no one returns. Its very name, translated from ancient Turkic, means, "Whoever comes here shall not return." In 1939, the area was declared a national reserve and was completely closed off to visitors for the rest of the 20th century. No one knows exactly what the Soviets did here during that period, but there are countless rumors about top-secret research projects. Even now, electronic devices fail as you approach, and navigational equipment stops working altogether. There have even been documented cases of people's skin turning blue after staying too long or coming into close contact with the plateau. And the most famous legend is about a group of nomads who believed they had lived here for only a year, only to return to civilization and discover that 3 decades had passed. This is truly a mysterious and seemingly supernatural place that remains beyond human understanding. Amid the ruins of Amman in Jordan, among the shattered remnants of ancient temples and palaces, one can find the broken remains of a giant stone hand. This is the hand of Hercules, and even though only 3 shattered fingers remain, it still inspires a sense of awe and perhaps a little fear when you see it. The hand is part of the Temple of Hercules, built in the 2nd century during the Roman occupation of Amman's citadel. For reasons lost to history, it appears the temple was never completed. The discovery of a marble elbow suggests that there was once a plan to construct a colossal statue of Hercules here, and had that plan been realized, it would likely have become the largest statue in the world at the time. This region is notorious for earthquakes, so it's possible the Romans abandoned further construction after enduring one earthquake too many. As tour guides like to point out to curious visitors, the nails and cuticles on the stone hand are carved with such detail that it has led to jokes about Hercules getting regular manicures. While at least we know that the Romans built the Temple of Hercules, no one has any idea who built the Quiquilo Pyramid in Mexico City, Mexico. There is some evidence that a massive volcanic eruption destroyed the civilization that once existed here. But aside from the pyramid itself, they left almost nothing for future generations to remember them by. By examining the soil around the pyramid, archaeologists have determined that this area was cultivated from around 3,200 years ago until the 1st century AD, when the Sitle volcano erupted. It's an ironic twist for the ancient Mesoamerican inhabitants, who are believed to have worshipped a god of fire. Some historians believe that the entire population perished in the disaster, while others think that survivors migrated to other parts of Mexico, taking their cultural heritage with them, and eventually contributing to the rise of Teotihuacan. Today, no people live here anymore. Instead, rattlesnakes and tarantulas have taken over, making this place a hazardous destination for any would-be visitors. During World War II, Nazi Germany constructed many strange structures across Europe, and not all of them are fully understood. After the war, when the Soviet military took over the circular concrete installations along the coast of the Barents Sea and strictly barred outsiders from entering for decades, even more wild theories began to flourish. Some people believe that these sites were where the Nazis tested anti-gravity devices and weapons of mass destruction. There are even claims that the site is connected to the top-secret Die Glocke project, also known as the Bell. Apart from its distinctive shape, no one really knows what Die Glocke was supposed to do, only that it was said to be a terrifying weapon. Perhaps a more realistic explanation is that these were simply platforms for mounting rotating artillery, but that is nowhere near as intriguing as the mysterious legends. The mystery of the lost city in the Kalahari Desert is an existential one, because even its very existence is in question. The story began in 1885, when Canadian magician and explorer William Leonard Hunt, better known as the Great Farini, claimed to have discovered a ruined city while crossing the Kalahari Desert on foot. In his report to the Royal Geographical Society, he described seeing half-buried ruins, collapsed temples, burial grounds, and crumbling walls. That account sparked at least 25 expeditions in the following decades, but none of them found anything like what the Great Farini had described. By 1964, a new theory emerged. Clement suggested that Farini had become confused about his route through the desert and had wandered onto a different path. When Clement investigated this alternative route, he discovered a series of massive dolerite stone monoliths, a type of rock that, when weathered, can resemble straight, square blocks that look like walls. Clement concluded that what Farini had actually seen was nothing more than a natural rock formation dating back 180 million years, but not everyone was satisfied with that explanation. To this day, there are still people searching for the lost city of the Kalahari. In the town of Swinton, North Yorkshire, England, quite a few people believe there is an ancient temple in the area. When you see Swinton Druid's temple, it's easy to understand why. Its architecture has all the hallmarks of an ancient monument, and the name Druid's Temple only adds to that impression. In reality, however, the structure was built only about 200 years ago by an exceptionally eccentric landowner. William Danby, who lived in Swinton during the 1820s, was a wealthy and generous man who cared deeply about the rising unemployment in his hometown. To address this, he hired dozens of locals to build the temple as a miniature replica of Stonehenge. Once it was completed, he even offered a substantial reward to anyone who could live as a hermit inside the temple for 7 years. Someone managed to last 4.5 years, but no one ever reached the full 7, and the reward was never claimed. Although it is not truly an ancient temple, the site still attracts mystics and modern-day Druids every summer solstice. Gunjiwamp in Groton, Connecticut, USA, is a location that gives archaeologists and historians a real headache. The area has been used and reused by different groups of settlers for at least 1,400 years, each leaving their own imprint on the land. Here, you'll find stone chambers, stone rings, mysterious carvings on the walls that have yet to be matched to any known language, and artifacts left behind by Native Americans. There are so many traces of human habitation at Gunjiwamp that it's impossible to determine where one era ended and another began, or even who was the first to settle there. One popular theory holds that it was constructed in the 6th century by Celtic Christian monks who fled Ireland to escape Viking raids. But that idea would overturn the accepted history of pre-Columbian America and is contradicted by evidence suggesting the site is much older. Occasionally, sudden spikes in electromagnetic activity have been detected at Gunjiwamp, which scientists attribute to the magnetite, granite, and quartz rock composition. But conspiracy theorists believe it is either an alien base or an energy vortex. A lithic stone tool found here has been dated to at least 3,500 years old, casting further doubt on the Celtic monk theory. No one knows if Gunjiwamp was built in phases or all at once, and unfortunately, we may never know the real answer. That's all the mysteries for today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when a new video is released. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.